So this is a Palmetto State Armory 5.56 Blem rifle. This is one of the cheapest rifles you can buy. I've done a lot of research and I think this is probably the best bang for buck and the cheapest. So it's 480 bucks at Palmetto. This was provided by Palmetto State, so just a little transparency right there. So big thank you to them, but this was not paid for. They did not pay me for this video. I actually reached out to them because I saw this on the website and I thought this would be a great value and I wanted to test it and kind of bring it to you guys to help give you guys an option to enter the 5.56 AR-15 market on a budget. This rifle right here. This is the Blem from Palmetto State. This thing is super cheap, 480 bucks. And this has pretty much everything I would look for in a rifle. This has, you know, a 16-inch barrel. Stays away from the legal problems if you don't want to get into an SBR, all right? Not too big, not too small, the perfect size. Has a free floated rail. One of the big things I look for is a good rail system to mount all of my different stuff on. And that's one of the good things about this one. It has a nice M-LOK 13.5-inch free floated rail and QD points. I mean, what more could you ask for? So that's one of the things that I really liked about this. And you know, QD points means sling, super important. And the build on this is super minimalistic. I mean, this is kind of what I feel like what you have to have. You have to have a sling, you have to have a rifle, and you have to have an optic, and that's kind of how this is built out. So there's that. The barrel, and I'd already kind of mentioned the 16-inch barrel, but it is a 16-inch 5.56 barrel with a 1-in-7 twist carbine length gas system. You know, not the craziest barrel in the world. I mean, it's one of PSA's kind of like lower end barrels. PSA has a wide variety. You can get kind of PSA's barrel, or they do buy FN barrels, which are very top of the line barrels, and put them in their more expensive upper receivers. This is kind of like just their basic 5.56, you know, barrel. Nothing too crazy, but like it shoots good. You know, it's about, you know, 1-2 MOA. I mean, it's not precision, but you know, it works. And that's what is important. It works, and it works well. When I was shooting it, we didn't have any problems out the gate whatsoever in terms of reliability, in terms of any type of malfunction. Was cycling really good, held the bolt open, you know, all kinds of stuff you look for when you're starting to break in a new rifle and to get things working. This rifle held true to it. So moving on down, I want to talk about bolt carrier group. Very basic bolt carrier group, standard mil-spec bolt carrier group, and that's the same for the lower receiver. So it has just a mil-spec trigger and a very basic stock and an A2 grip. This is a very bare bones rifle in terms of specs, but it does function and it does have the things that I feel are important to have on the rifle, like I had mentioned, the free floating rail and the QD points. Well, now I want to tell you about how to get some awesome merch. Basement Operator, it's our apparel line here, and that's all I'll say about it, basementoperator.com. One of the things that I wish PSA would do, and that is kind of like an ick for me, is you have these awesome QD points right here, but on this, you know, very basic stock, you only have a place for a clip sling. One of the things I'd like to see PSA do is put a QD point right here. Anderson does it on their, you know, basic M4 tight stocks, and I like it a lot because a lot of my stuff is just all QD, and I don't like to have a special, you know, normal sling with the clips so you can clip on, and then you have to buy a little extra QD portion to go up here. But I guess it is what it is. In terms of testing, so you're probably wondering how this thing performs. We used a Tribe optic on it, and that's what we did all of our testing with. Also, I want to say a big thank you to Optics Planet. They did send out the optic for this video, so a big thank you to them. If you want to check out Optics Planet, link is in the description at takesomeoneoutdoors.com/links, and you can use code DELP5 to save you a little bit of money. Super inexpensive optic. This thing runs about $250, and I'm going to be doing a separate review on that on the channel, so make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and the subscribe button will keep you up to date on when I do the actual review on this Tribe. But it's like a $250 super inexpensive optic, and we have an Air Precision mount, which is a fairly expensive mount. I think they run about $80 to $100 depending on which one you get, but you can get cheaper mounts for it. I know Primary Arms makes like a $50 mount that I buy all the time that works really well and is super inexpensive. But that's what we did all of our testing with, just a cheap 1:6 LPVO, and it worked really, really well. No problems whatsoever. It did what I would want a very budget rifle to do. One of the reasons I like PSA so much is because their philosophy behind all of their rifles and how they kind of structure themselves in the gun market. Their philosophy is to get a rifle, or to have their rifles priced so competitively that everybody can afford them and they can get a rifle in everyone's hands. And I think this Blem right here, this 5.56 Blem, is kind of like the golden boy for that. Everybody has a rifle, you can't ban them, they go into common use. Once the rifle's in common use, it's so much harder for the government to take your right away. And that's kind of PSA's philosophy. So they want to get a rifle in everybody's hands. And I think this rifle is great for that because it has everything you need all in one. You don't have to build it. This really appeals to the people that don't want to get their hands into piecemealing a rifle together. I did a video a long time ago on a $350 rifle, but you had to buy a ton of different parts from a ton of different companies. You had to have kind of a sense of building it, and it came out to like $350. For 480 bucks, you can not have to think about anything. You can get it out of the box, it'll work, and it'll be functional, and it'll do what it needs to do. And it's just, that's the beauty of this rifle right here. And I think that's why you should get it, is because you're entering the market, you don't want to build, which a building can be incredibly intimidating, and you don't have a ton to dump into it. This is what you should look for, this is what you should try to find on sale, and this is what you should definitely consider. Because I mean, for the 480 bucks, I mean, you can't go wrong. It's decently accurate. It's probably as accurate as you'll need it to be. Okay, it works. Just because it has Blem, I'm gonna be honest with you, I picked this up at the gun store, and the guy was just like, where's the Blem? He was like, I was looking for it, and I was like, I don't know, I've bought Blem stuff from PSA before, like personally, and I've never been able to find a Blem. The only thing I could find is there's a scratch underneath the forward assist, and that's it. That's all I could find. I mean, I'm not super easy on my rifles, so like now there's definitely some scratches on it just because of like throwing it in and out of the truck and all that other great stuff. But when I first bought it, it had like a pretty flawless finish, so I don't even know why it was associated with, well, actually there's a scratch on the barrel, so that might be it. Nothing, it didn't affect functionality whatsoever. I just did like an error review, and out of the box, it wasn't locking the bolt back. And PSA, we put it on the PSA lower, it still wouldn't lock the bolt back. Put it on dangerous fence lower, wouldn't lock the bolt back. Had a little bit of problems with it. Eventually it broke in, but it took a break-in process. This one didn't take a break-in process to function, which is what you would want, you know. And that's, everybody hates on PSA a lot because they worry about quality control. They have a warranty. I've never had a problem with any of PSA stuff. They've always been really great to shoot. This is like my 5th rifle from PSA, I think. I mean, it really caters to the new shooter, the person that wants to get into a budget-oriented rifle and not spend a ton of money. I mean, this whole build right here, I think is like shooting at like 450. So let's say 500 for the rifle, 250, so 7,500 for the scope, plus another 100, so 8,500, 850, math hard, 850 bucks total for the rifle, $50 sling, 900 bucks. It's everything you need. You could buy a light if you wanted to. I don't think a light is 100% necessary. I think it is useful, it's very practical, I recommend it, but this is pretty much all you need. And I guess you don't even technically need the sling if you want to just carry it, but optic and functional rifle with functional parts that work, and that's what I think this rifle does, and that's what I think PSA is providing. So I mean, I'm a fan, and I wanted to bring this to you guys so you guys would be made aware to go check out that Blem $480 rifle. I will link it in takesomeoneoutdoors.com/links, so you can go check it out there. So takesomeoneoutdoors.com/links, click Palmetto State's button, all right, and then go just type in Blem in their search bar and scroll through until you find this. There's not that many Blem things out there, and just pick it up, because if you're looking, this is it. This is what I think you should do. Don't DM me, well, you can DM me on Instagram, but don't ask me, because this is what I recommend people. And I mean, here's it. This is him for budget guns. I really appreciate you guys for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I hope you guys liked it. Big thank you to PSA for sending this out so I could test it, make sure it worked, reviewed it, and bring it to you guys. And thank you again for Optics Planet for providing the Tribe optic for this little build. Like I said, guys, it's awesome. So I'll see you guys on the next one. As always, take someone outdoors. Peace.